Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle, and it's called Mischief by Marty Sears. And here are the rules. We have normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill the entire grid with the digits 1 through 9 such that there are no repeats in any row, column, well we'll get a column here eventually, or designated 9-cell region, which in this case is a box. We also have the grid is covered in fog. Entering a correct digit will clear the fog in that cell and maybe some others too. No guessing is required. So this is dynamic fog of war, where you will clear what I do like this. I do prefer this version of the dynamic fog of war because it gives you feedback that you're actually doing something versus, oh, I'm placing random digits in a fog. I don't know if it's actually correct or not. So yeah, I think it's also the dopamine hit that, oh, you got this right, which is nice to see. So I do prefer this type of dynamic fog of war, where it does clear the fog in the cell, and it may clear other digits somewhere else in the grid. Spots. Okay, so we also have this rule where spots divide lines into segments. A segment total is the sum of the digits in that segment, okay? And digits may not repeat within a segment. So this is a segment in the sum, and the segment total is the sum of the digits, which is just that digit. Same with this. These 5 digits are a segment, and they sum to a certain number. And you cannot have repeats in a segment. So you could not have a repeat here, but you could have a repeat here and here. That's possible, right? So you could have something like a 4 here and a 4 here, and that's valid, but you could not have a 4 here and a 4 here. That's not valid because it's the same segment. And this is a segment, this is a segment, this is a segment, etc., etc. And that's how, I don't know what this rule set is called, but equals segment line? I don't know. We also have line rules, where they can be, I think the lines could be either an equal segment line. Oh, no, it's the blue line. Never mind. These are the different types of lines, I guess. An equal segment line along a blue line, each segment has the same total. So, for example, if this extended like this, and this was the only dot here, that would mean this segment would be equal to the sum of these three digits. So it could be something like 1, 3, and 4, and then that would be 8, because this is one segment and this is another segment. That's how equal segment lines work. We also have segment Renban, where along a pink line, all the individual segment totals form a non-repeating consecutive sequence. But the sequence can appear in any order. For example, you have a sum of 11, 13, 10, 9, and 12 along a segment Renban. So that means the segment totals must form a set of non-repeating consecutive sequence. So again, it could be like 9 through 12, 9 through 13 if it's 5 segments long, 9 through 12 if it's 4 segment long, or you could have like even like 3 through 6 if it's 4 segments long. It just has to form a non-repeating consecutive sequence for that to be satisfied. And then finally we have actually it's not finally. This is the last of the line rules, where a segment Nabner, where along a yellow line, any 2 segment totals anywhere on the line may not be consecutive or the same. For example, if there is a segment whose cells sum to 12, then no other segment may have a total of 11, 12, or 13. So say this added up to 12 here. Say this was like a 5 and a 7. There's no other segment along this line which can add up to 11, 12, or 13 then, if that's the case. So those are all the line rules we have. And then finally, we have shenanigans, which is where the mischief comes in. And one of the digits, 1 through 9, to be determined is the mischief digit. Every line follows one of the 3 line rules above, but any line containing the mischief digit has been painted the wrong color. Okay. So if anywhere along this line you have a mischief digit along it, it is the wrong color. It must be one of the other line types, right? So this yellow one, if this had a mischief digit somewhere along it, which is one of the digits from 1 through 9, then it would not be a segment Nabner. It would have to be a segment Renban or an equal segment line. And that is, so that's only if the line contains one of the mischief digit, and it's one of the digits from 1 through 9. We're not sure which. We have to determine that. Any line not containing the mischief digit is the correct color. So if this did not have the mischief digit in it, that would mean it is a Nabner line for certain. And if this line does not contain the mischief digit, whichever this one is, it would be an equal segment line. If it does contain the mischief digit, it's either a segment Renban or a segment Nabner line. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, so if this is not a mischief line, if it does not contain a mischief digit, first of all, that would mean the mischief digit has to be here and here, period. If it does not contain the mischief digit, the thing is this would have to work as a Nabner segment, right? Where any two totals, segment totals, cannot be the same or consecutive. Well, how many single digit segments are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that still could work as a Nabner so far, right? Because we could have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 all split up that way. That would mean for 2-digit segments, you would have to be at least one. You could not have consecutive, so you can't have any of the digits from 1 through 10 because 9 is consecutive with 10 also. So that would mean 11, 12, 11, 13, 15, and 17 would have to be possible. So how many 2-digit segments do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 2-digit segments. So technically it's possible, but we sort of have to figure out if that works. One of them would have to be 17. The others would have to be 11, 13, and 15. And I don't think that's possible. Right? If we had 17 along one of these, the problem is that eliminates 8 and 9 for everything. I guess that's possible. It could be 8, 9 here, 6, 7 here. No, that's not possible. 3 2-digit numbers can add up to at most, what is it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 39. And you would have to then have the minimum for 3 2-digit numbers, 3 2-cell numbers on a Nabner line would be 11, 13, and 15, with the 5 odd digits being here, right? Because we have 5 1-cell segments. We have 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 1 through 9, odd digits. That means we need 11, 13, 15, 17. The minimum would be 11, 13, and 15, which would be 39. So technically you could have that. 11, 13, 15. This would then be 17. Okay, so technically you still could actually have that. Then this 5-cell segment would have to be at least 19. It'd be 19. It could actually, well, just 19 and above works. So if that were the case, this would be 11, 13, and 15 in some order. This would then be 17, so this would be 8 and 9. So what would that mean then? So this would be 2, because those are the only possibilities. This would be 1 and 3. This would have to be 8 and 9. This would be, again, 11, 13, and 15, because that adds up to 39 at minimum. And that's a maximum we can have for 6 digits in the same row, adding up to a sum. 8 and 9 cannot be here. So this is 4 through 7, 4 through 7. So this looks like it's okay. This can't be 9 here, so this would then be 9. This would be 5, 7 pair, which means this can't be 5 or 7. This is 4 or 6. You can't have 4 and 6 added together because that would add up to 10, so this is not 4 and 6. So far this is okay. This would be 1, 3, 4, 6, 1, 3, 4, 6, 1, 3, 4, 6. This would be a 2. So this would have to contain 1 and 3. No 9 could be on it. So 1, 3 with 4 or 6. So this would be 4 through 9. This would be 4 through 9. Can this ever be 6 and 7? I don't think so, right? If this is 6 and 7, that means you can't have a 15 because you need 6, 9, or 7, 8 to add up to 15. So it'd be 6, 5 or 4, 7. If it's 4, 7, that means 6 and 9 add up to 15. So 4, 7, 6, 9, and 5, 8. So that works. Or if it's 5, 6, you have 7, 8. If you have 5, 6, you have 7, 8, and 4, 9. And that works also. So that looks like that's valid. 1, 3, and 4 add up to 8. 8 plus 7 and 8 works out. Okay, so one thing is so that's if the mischief digit is not on this line. If the mischief digit is on this line, it can never be equal segments because these segments can never be equal. So it would have to be segment Renban. Okay, so this is all if the segments does not have a mischief digit, if the line does not have a mischief digit. Okay, so we know this information, so we can, okay. What happens if this is a segment Renban? That means this is at least 1 through 5, so that's 15. How many segments do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 segments. Okay. We know this is at least 15. Okay, so let's calculate that, I guess. These do not have to be the same digit then in that case, because we have to have one of these be a mischief digit, and it doesn't have to. Okay, so we have 15. How many segments again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 segments. 15 is guaranteed. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 as the 10th segment. And we have we have 5 single digit. We have 5 single digit segments on this segment. Excuse me. Which means you can only be the digits 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 because there are no repeats on the segment Renban. But 5 is too low to go with 15. And we know there are no repeats on this, so this is at minimum 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this actually does have to be a segment Nabner line. And it follows essentially what we were saying. So this is 2. This is 2. This is 9. This is a 1, 3 pair here. This is a 5, 7 pair here. This is 1, 3, 4, and 6 here. So 2 is the mischief digit. So we are going to mark that as red, which means this is not a Nabner line, and this is not a equal segment line, but we sort of knew that already. Okay. This has to be, again, this is either 4 and 6 with 5 and 7. This is 8 or 9. This could be 4 through 9. This is 4 through 9. This cannot be an equal segment line because this is at least 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. It's not a Nabner line, so it must be a segment Renban line, which forces this to be 9 and this to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 9, this is 1, 3, and 4, which leaves these as 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 cannot be here, and 2 cannot be here. So these are all kosher. Okay, so this, we're going to mark these as green. These are green, and this is green. So this is mischief. This does have to be a segment Renban. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and it can be either with 4 or 9 here. This is a segment Renban. This is not an equal segment line. It cannot be a segment Nabner line because these are all... it's not an equal segment line. It cannot be a segment Nabner line because that would require 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, or 0, which is not allowed because this is normal Sudoku. So this is... Actually, we knew it's not segment Nabner because we has the mischief digit on it. So it can't be equal segments because these segments are not the same. Can't be all 2. So it has to be segment Renban. So it's either 2 through 6 or it's 1 through 5. Either way, the 4 has to be here, which means this can't be 4. This is 9. Did that clear? That cleared, okay. Actually, it was already clear, I guess. Yeah, it was already clear. So this is 9. This has to be, again, we have 3, 4, and 5, and either 1 or 6 here. Well, this does not have the mischief digit, so it must be a Renban. Well, 1 can never be here, so this can't be 1. This is then 1, 3, 4, 5 here, which means this can't be 5. This has to be 7 with 6 or 8, right? Because it cannot contain 1 through 5. Therefore, this can't be 7. This is 6 or 8 here. This is 1 through 5 here. We don't know if this is a valid... because it's not 2. This is valid. Equal segment line works. Renban line works. Nabner line works. So we don't know what this value is. This is 2. So again, we have this 5-cell region must add up to... Okay, so this cannot be 9 here, and this can't be 9 here. So the 4 can only be with 9 if this is the digits, right? It must add, so this always adds up to 11. The 13 must have 4 and 9, and this can't be 4 then. This can't be 4. 5 digits. What are the combinations that we can have? We have a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruplet in box 1, which eliminates 5, 6, 7, 8 from the rest of the box. So 5 has to be one of these digits, which means this can't be 5. This digit is the same as that one. I don't know. Let's just mark that somehow. This must be the digits 1 through 4. This is 9. 9 cannot be here. 1 or 3 is here. 1 or 3 is here. 5 or 7 is here. This cannot be 1 or 3 because 1 and 3 have to be here. So this becomes 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. Okay. If this is 4 or 6, what is the maximum value? What are the values we can have here? If this is 4, 6, you have 4 and 6 added together plus 1 and 3. That's 14. And then 7 and 8 could work. 7 or 8 could work. 14 plus 7 is 21, which is not adjacent, consecutive with or the same as any of the odd digits we have, which is up to 17. Do we have anything else? Any line not containing the mischief digit is the correct color, right? So if this is 2, it has to be with 6 or 8. But we don't know anything about that. Oh, can this ever be 4 or 6? I don't think so. So if this is 4 or 6, this has to be 1 and... that other 4 or 6 must be... cannot be on this line. No, okay. Where is the 9? 9 has to be one of these two. Okay, so that's fine. Yeah, this is a run ban. Because it can't be equal sum. That's fine. It's satisfied now. 9 is one of these two. Okay. Obviously, if this is 7 or 8, that satisfies both, right? 1, 3, 4 is, at minimum, would be 8. Plus 7 or 8 would be... fine. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 7 is 23. And that's obviously not consecutive with any of the odd digits up to 17. Obviously, at least one of 7 or 8 is here. It could be both, in which case, yeah, we have... What else do we have? 9 is one of these three. That's not telling us much. What else do we know? I'm not sure. Hmm. Yeah, so for any segment, for any combination, even if you have 4 and 6, what if you have 1, 3, 4, 5? I think even then, that adds up to 19 at minimum. Yeah, so that's not, there's nothing that actually changes that aspect. So 1 of 7 or 8 at least has to be here. It could be both, but we don't know. Hmm. 11, 13, 15. Ugh. This sucks. I feel stuck here. Yeah, because any combination of digits for this 5-cell number is almost guaranteed to be here, right? It's not gonna be 18 or less. It's gonna be guaranteed to be 19 at least, right? 1, 3, 4, 5 is 13 plus 7. Actually, even 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, but that's not possible. It has to have a 7 or 8 here if it has 4, 5, or 6 here. Because 9 is here, then we need another 7 or 8, but that means it leaves a 7 or 8 here. So therefore, 1, 3, 4, 5 is 13, plus 7 is 20. And that's already well above the Navitor line. What else are we missing then? Okay, so if it's equal segments, what is it? This can't be 2 then. If it's equal segments, this is 1 or 3 with 6. So I don't think this can ever be 7. Okay, so I think that's where it is, right? If it's equal segments, it's 1, 8 or 3, 6, adding up to 9. If it's not equal segments, that means a 2 has to be here. So it has to be either a Renban, which is consecutive but not the same. So you can't have 2, 7 here. Actually, it would have to be a Renban. It's 2 with 6 or 8, which is 8 or 10. But 7 would still not be here. So this has to be a 7 here. So this is 7, and this is 7. Because it's the same digit. This can't be 7 here. So we can remove the orange aspect. These are valid. One of these two is not valid. Okay. Segment Renban. If this were valid, this would have to be 9 and 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not valid then, right? Because 9 cannot be in that column. So this cannot be a segment Renban. Therefore, this must contain the Mischief digit, which means this cannot contain the Mischief digit. So this is valid. This is not the Mischief digit. So the Mischief digit is one of these. So this can never be 2. 2 does have to be here somewhere. That means it's either cannot be segment renban, can't be equal segments because 1, 2, 3, 4 can never add up to 9. So this has to be segment Nabner. Okay, well that's pretty broad, so that's fine. This has to be an equal segment though. And you cannot have a 2. So you could have 1, 3, 4, but that would break these two cells because that would eliminate 1, 3, and 4 here, which would make both of these 2, which is not valid. So you can't have it add up to 8. It must be 1, 3, 5 adding up to 9. Because you can't have a 2 on here. The only ones were now 1, 3, 4 and 1, 3, 5, and this has to be 1, 3, 5 then. So this is 1, 3, 5, which makes this a 9. So none of these can be 9. Oops. None of these can be not. None of these can be 9, so this can't be 9 here, which means 4 can't be here. Where is the 9 in row 9 then? It has to be here. So this is 9. This 9 eliminates 9 here, so that's 8 and 9 here. Let's remove the greens so that we can see what we have. This adds up to either 13 or 15 here. So that makes this a 4 or 6 here, which eliminates 4 and 6 in the rest of the row. So this cannot be 6. This has to have an 8 in one of these cells, and this can't be 5 because of the 1, 3, 5 triplet. That eliminates 1 and 3 in the rest of the column. That makes this a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair. Actually, this can't be 7 because of the 7 in the column. So this is 8. This is 6. This can't be 8 here. That means this can't be 4. So this is 1 and 3 here. This has to be just a Nabner. This 1, 3, 5 triplet eliminates 1, 3, and 5 in the rest of the box. So this can't be 1 or 3. So this is 4, which means this can't be 4. This is a 1, 3 pair. One of these is a Mischief digit. And the Nabner line. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so this is a 4, 5, 7 triplet. This is a 2, 6, 8 triplet. So for the segment Nabner, if it is valid, that means it does not have a 2, it's 4, and it must be with 1, which means this would be 2 and 3, but then it would satisfy the Renban requirement. So this cannot be 4, this has to be 2, which makes this a 4. The 4 means this has to be a Renban. So this is the Mischief digit, so the Mischief digit cannot be these. So this is 1, 8 with 3 and 6. We eliminate 1 and 3 in the rest of column 2 because of the 1, 3 pair. So this is 2. It cannot be, it has to be consecutive, and it is consecutive here. But for the Renban, that means these are consecutive, and 4 cannot be consecutive with 1. It must be 3 then, and this is 1, which makes that 3, which makes that 6. So this can't be 6. This is 8. These can't be 8. This is a 5, 6 pair here. This can't be 3 or 4. 3 cannot be here either. So one of these is a 3. One of these is... So this has to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it can't be 6 here because of that 6. 3 and 6 add up to 9. This is 8 with 5 or 7. This is fine as a Nabner line. This is not a this is a Renban, 2 and 1. This is also a Renban, 3 and 4. Okay, what else do we have that we're missing? I don't know. These digits could be 9, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hmm. 9 with 1, 3, 5. Um, 9 is one of these two. Hmm. Ah, 3 has to be one of these digits. Where is the 3 in column 9? It has to be here. So this is 3. This 4, 6 pair eliminates 4 and 6 in the rest of the column. So this is 1, which means this can't be 1 here, which means this can't be 1 here. So 1 has to be one of these two digits. Okay, one of these lines is not correct. Obviously, if 2's here, then this becomes a segment Nabner. What happens if the 2 is here? It's not a Renban, but it could be equal segment or a segment Nabner. If this is Renban, can it be Renban without a 2? So 4 could be 4, 5 if it's not a Renban. So 4, 5 works. 5 cannot be with 4 and it can't be with 6. So 5 could be with 2, though. 7 cannot be with 6, but it could be with 8. 8 could be with 7, cannot be with 9. So it could be 2 there. 4 and 5 cannot be here. So this can't be 5. Because that would force this to be a real segment Renban, and that would eliminate those possibilities. If this is 2, what sum up to these digits? It would be 5 and 6, which is not possible. 5 and 6 is never the same one away from a single digit, because that's 11. So 2 cannot be here. So this is a non-2, which means 2 has to be one of these. This is then, it cannot be 4 and 5 added together. It can't contain 3 or 6, so the 4 or 5 here cannot be with the other 4 or 5 here, because that would eliminate 4 and 5 here, which would force both of these to be 1. Therefore, it has to be 7, 8 pair, which means one of 7 or 8 is here. The other 7 or 8 has to be here. So this is 7, 8, or 9 here, which eliminates 7, 8, and 9 in the rest of the column. This then must be 2, 5. Cannot be 6. 2, 4, or 5. Can't be 4. The 7, 8, 9 triple, and 6 cannot be here. 6 can't be here. 6 has to be here, which means this can't be 6. This is 5. This is 6. This cannot be 5 anymore. That means this is a 2, 5 pair, which means this can't be 5. This can't be 4 then. This is a 3, 5 pair. 2, 5 cannot be next to 8. Because that we know this is specifically not a segment Renban. So it's either 2, 5 adding up to 7 or 2, 5 adding up to 9. We do know this has to contain the Mischief digit. So it's not a segment Nabner. It's either a segment equal segment line or a segment Renban. Huh. Okay. segment. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, so the remaining digits in this box are 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9. Hmm. 9 cannot be here, and 4 cannot be here. This can't be 3 because of this 3. What is this? Ugh. One of these is 7 or 8. We do have a 4-6 triplet, or 4-6 pair here. And either of those satisfies. So that's 14 plus 7, which is 21, or 14 plus 8, which is 22. Which is well away from the 17 here. This is not a segment Nabner. It's either segment Renban or equal segment. If it's equal segment, what does that mean? It would have to be 45 minus 3, 5, and 7. So that's 15. So that's 30. And it's 3 segments, so it'd have to be 39. So this would be 9, and this would be 7 if that were the case. Obviously would not be 9 and 9 here, because that's 18. And that's already double of, not double, but it's greater than the 13 that 39 divided by 3 is. Again, this adds up to, so this adds up to 30 no matter what. If it's a segment Renban, it also must be divisible by 3, right? Because it's going to be consecutive digits. Therefore, one's going to be one digit, one number is going to be minus 1 of the middle digit, and the other digit is going to be plus 1 of the middle digit. So if you just add them together, it has to be divisible by 3. And since it's always divisible by 3, this must be a 9. So this is 9, this is 7. 9 cannot be either way on the same column and or in the same segment, right? Because you can't have repeats there. Therefore, this is a 9, which means this can't be 9, which means this is a 9. So this is not a mischief digit. We don't know which one it is. It's either adding up to 9. So it's either 13. I think this has to be 13 no matter what. It's either 12, 13, 14, or 13, 13, 13. Well, this has to be 4 either way, right? Because 12 is 9 and 3. We can't have that. 14 is 9 and 5. We can't have that because of the 5, 7 pair. So this must be 9 and 4. And this is fine. We don't really, yeah. This can't be 4 in the rest of the box. And it can't be 4 in the same column. We can't have 8 in either of these, because if 8 is here, that would add up to 8 and 9, which is 17 at least. And you can only have 12, 13, or 14. Same with 6. You can't have 6 here either. So this has to be a 1-2 pair, which means this is, so this becomes a segment Renban. So these are fine. This is 6 and 8. 1 and 2 is here, which eliminates 1 and 2 in the rest of the row. So this can't be 1. This is 5. This can't be 2. This is 6 or 8. These can't be 5 anymore. That leaves this as a 4, 6, 8 triplet. This is a 9. We don't know what that is. We have 1 through 5 here. This 6, 8 pair eliminates 6 and 8 in the rest of the column. So this can't be 6 or 8. This is 12, 13, 14. This cannot be a segment Nabner. So it has to have a 2 here somewhere, which means this is, yeah, that's the reason why it can't be a segment Nabner. So 2 has to be here somewhere. This 7 eliminates 7 in the rest of the row, and the rest of the box. So this 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 8, which makes that 7. This can't be 7, so this is 4, which makes this 6. This can't be 6 or 7, so this is 8. This 6 eliminates 6 here, so this is 4. This can't be 4 anymore, so this is 6 and 9. 4 must add up with 7 to add up to 11 here. That gives us 5 and 8 here, so this can't be 5. What does that leave here? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So it has to add up together, or it must be consecutive as a Renban. 6 cannot be here, so 6 has to be one of these. 5 has to be on the opposite side. So because if you have 5, 6 here, this is at maximum 2 and 3, and that's not equal or a Renban. So 5 cannot be here. 5 has to be here, which means this can't be 5. This is 3, this is 5. That eliminates 3 from being here. Well, if this is 1 and 5, 6 in whatever digit is never going to add up to it. So this has to be 2 and 5 here, which eliminates 2 here. So this is 1, this is 2. This can no longer be 2. 2 and 5 add up to 7. 1 and 6 add up to 7. 3 and 6 adds up to 9, and therefore doesn't fulfill Renban or segment. So this must be 1, 6, which forces this to be 3 and this to be 1. This is the Mischief digit. This is not. This is not. These are not. Let's make sure we have everything correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, that didn't give us much information. We know the 4 has to be one of these digits. Okay, this 6 eliminates 6 here, so that's 1 and 6. This 1 eliminates 1 here, it's 3 and 1. Okay, so that clears out stuff. Okay, that's good. 4's here, 4's here. One of these is a 2, so it cannot be a segment Nabner. It's either equal sum, equal segment, or segment Renban. We have what? 2, 3, 4, 5 here. If we have a 5 here, this is 2, 3, and 4, and that's essentially a segment Nabner, so that's not possible. If we have 4, okay, this can't be 4 because of this 4. If we have 3 here, 9 and 3 does form a segment Renban with 2, 4, 5. 4 can't be here. So 4 has to be one of these 2, and this can't be 3. 9 and 2 is 11, and 3, 4, 5 forms a segment Renban, so that's fine too. These could be segment Renbans. There cannot have a 2 there. If it's a segment Renban, this has to be... If this is actually a segment Renban, you can't have 7 here, because 7 goes with 6 and 8. Obviously, you can't have 1, 6, 8, or 9. You can't have a 2. So it would have to be either 3... Well, okay, if this is 4, 5, that forces this to be 2, 3, and you would have 3 cells which require 2 and 3, which is not allowed. So it cannot be 4, 5. It would have to be 3 and 4 if that were the case, which would force this to be 2, 5, but we know the 4 is here. So this cannot contain, this has to have a 2 here, right? For this to be a segment Renban, 1, 2 is eliminated. 2, anything with 2 means that it's not a segment Renban. So we're assuming it is a segment Renban. 1, 2, 2, 3 are eliminated. 3, 4 makes this 2, 5, and then we don't have a 4 anymore on this row column. So that doesn't work. So this cannot be 3, 4. Can't be 4, 5 for the same reason. Can't be 5, 6 because of the 6 in the row. Can't be 6, 7, again because of the 6 in the row. Can't be 7, 8 because of the 8 in the row. Can't be 8, 9 because of both the 8 and 9. So this cannot be a Renban. It has to have a 2, which means this can't be 2. This is 5. This is 2. These are not Mischief. This is Mischief. This has to have a Mischief, which means none of these are Mischief. None of these are Mischief because So 2 cannot be either of these. Oops. 2 cannot be either of these. This can't be 5. So 2 has to be here. It cannot be 3 with it, because, and it can't be the equal segment, so it has to be Nabner. So it's 2, 4, or 7. Where is the 3 possible in row 7? It has to be here. So this is 3, which forces this to be 4, which makes that a 2. This can't be 2, so this is 2. This is 5. The 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 7 and 5. This can't be 2. So this is the Mischief digit here. This is not. This is Mischief. Oops, Mischief here. And this is not. Okay, so we can actually just clear out all this. So it's 2 with 4, 7. It can't be 4, so it has to be 7 here, which means this is not 7. This is 4. This is 7. There is no 2 here, so this has to be all Nabner. Okay. That leaves, what are the remaining digits here? 5 and 8. 4 does have to be one of these two. Interesting. So these 3 digits, one of them's a 4, the other is a 6 or an 8. This cannot be 6 or 8. It can't be 3, 5, or 1 by itself, because that would be, 1 could be. Cannot be 9. 7 is going to be consecutive with 1 out of 6 or 8, so this can't be 7. So it could be 1 or the other 6, 8, but the other 6, 8 cannot be here because of the 6, 8 pair in the row. Yeah, what are the possibilities here? 1, 3, and 7. 3 is consecutive with 4, so that's out. 7 is consecutive with 1 out of 6 or 8, and one of these has to be 1 out of 6 or 8, so that's out. So this must be 1, which makes this 4, which makes that 1. This can't be 4, so this is 4 here. We have 6 or 8 here. This can't be, this 1 eliminates 1 here, so this is 3, which makes this 1. That makes this a 7. The remaining digits are 3 with 6 or 8. If this is 3 and 6, that makes that 8, which is consecutive with each other, so that's not possible. So this has to be 3 and 8, which makes that 6. Oh, this couldn't be 6 anyways here. So this makes that 6, which makes this 8, which makes that 6 here, which makes that 8. So this is 6. 1, 4, 6, and then 11 is a valid Nabner. 7 eliminates 7 here, so this is 2. This is 7. 2 eliminates 2 here. It's 5 and 2. This is the Mischief digit. The 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 8 and 5. Whoops, I made them colors. This is 8 and 5. The 8 eliminates 8 here, so that's 3 and 8. And we Mischief managed. Mischief was managed here. Yeah, pretty interesting rule set. I don't know how I made this yellow. Okay, this is supposed to be red. But, yeah, very interesting rule set. I've done this before, I think. Actually, I don't know if I have. It seems familiar, but maybe it's related to other rules that are where you have a lie in place. I don't know if I've done this one particularly, but pretty interesting logic that you have to go through. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.